Got it. Yeah, I see that. Cheri, all rosy cheeks. That sounds like something from a Christmas song.
Yeah, I don't feel very Christmassy.
Oh,
All right, wait, I gotta do this, right? I gotta do this.
Gotta share it. Hello, everybody. We're gonna be starting our show here in just un momento. Where is it? Where is it? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live?
We are live.
Trying to find it. Oh, Cheri, I feel like I've barely talked to you in forever. It's good to be back here.
I know, it's been, what, a week?
Yeah, and what a week.
Mm-hmm.
You said it right there. What a week.
Well, that was easy. Oh.
That was easy.
You know how sometimes I sit here and just struggle to get it shared to my regular page today. It was just like, was already loaded and ready and waiting, and regular page today.
That's good. We got some viewers. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. So excited.
Thursday.
To have you all here. It is Thursday. Here we are again.
Yeah. Where do we want to start?
Oh gosh, where do we want to start? Welcome to another episode of
Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy.
I'm Andy Vargo, and this is my bestie,
Cheri Hardman. We decided to do something.
Yeah?
Andy Vargo and I will do anything for attention.
Yes, we will.
I'll tell you what I did. My nails, my hair, and my nails, my hair.
You gotta give yourself credit for all the things you do.
I'll tell you what I did earlier, later.
Now I don't know when it'll happen.
Earlier. And we're here to discuss my nails, my hair, and
being the best at no matter what it is that you're doing. Now I don't know when it'll happen. Well, do you want to share what you have coming up this week?
Well, I have a couple things coming up this week. Tomorrow night, let me get in the middle here. So I'm looking at the camera. Tomorrow night, Friday the 16th, which coincidentally is also Dave Hardman's birthday.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Yeah. I think, how old is he going to be? If he was born in 66, that means he's going to be 56?
I think so.
6 and 6, yeah. So, God, I'm going to be sleeping with a 56-year-old man. Gross. No.
Something new every time.
Yeah. But anyway, I will be on a show called Grief is a Jerk. It's a free show. It's on Zoom. And I've been excited and nervous about this all at the same time because it's about grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on my set, and I still, like, at this late moment, don't feel like it's quite right, which I may need to be talking to you a little bit this afternoon. There's just one part that I just can't quite get.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it. I'll be closing out the show, and it's going to be about grief. So I would love it if you would come watch and support, and maybe you have your own grief. We're all grief-stricken about something, I think, in some ways. So come watch the show, see if you can relate. Know that there will be some dark humor. We can't go into a show like this being overly sensitive, or it's just not going to work. So, but I think it's very valued. That's a valuable thing that Angela, I don't know, I need to find out how to say her last name. It's spelled E-H. So I don't know how she pronounces it,
Yeah.
So I need to ask her. Well, I'll probably find out tomorrow when she says it.
There you go.
Anyway, so it's her show. And if you look on my page, you'll find the link to it. So tomorrow at 6 o'clock our time, Pacific time. And then Monday the
19th at the Otter.
We have the Ho Ho Holiday comedy show.
That's going to be fun. I got my ugly sweater ready.
Yeah, I got to find mine. By the way, we sold more tickets for it today. So
awesome.
Tickets sales are going really well. So
and this is one where we were, and we were back and forth. Do we do it a week early before Christmas, or are people going to be too busy, or do we do it the Monday, which is the day after Christmas, which I'm kind of glad we went with.
I think this is the ticket. People, some people are off work, so they're able to go out on a Monday.
Yeah.
And but we do still have tickets left. So, yeah, please.
Grab your spot.
Yeah, grab a spot. And I think I might, might do some kind of holiday, something, treats.
Holiday hoobie whatty.
So
that's awesome. We'll
I
see you
promise
all there.
I will not breathe on anything. Because most of you probably know this, but I've been home with COVID all week. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm to the point now where I'm like on day 6 where I can go back to work as long as this red face isn't a fever. So I got to go check that when we get done here.
Okay.
So
nice.
It's been, the nice thing is that my husband and my son have not caught it. We've been able to isolate.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So both times I've had COVID, Andrew didn't get it.
I have a good friend who was like, oh, I think I have COVID. People at work have it, and I'm not feeling that great. And they're just starting, like, they just messaged me earlier. I don't think that they hadn't taken the test yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then several people, family and friends, who've been battling the flu and having it go from one family member to the other. And it's just, I mean,
Well, it's crazy because at school, I know I got it at school, and those kids, oh my God, they were just sneezing and blowing their noses and coughing.
Nasty
and
little children.
Yeah. So there's that.
All I want for Christmas is to not get sick. Not get sick.
It's amazing that you don't get sick being around people as much as you are.
I don't believe in sickness.
Oh, okay.
So I just,
You're an unbeliever.
One thing that I do is, well, I haven't had very many intimate encounters for a long time. So that keeps me out of, I'm not close to people. I'm not kissing on any boys or anything. Definitely don't kiss the girls. And then, but anytime I know that there's stuff going on, I'll actually not drink alcohol, try to not eat sugar. I'll try to just not do anything that could weaken my body. And it's kind of like I'm putting the defenses up, and then I'll load up on like strawberries and peppers and anything with vitamin C in it. And I'll start chugging emergency or airborne, just like 4 times a day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've gotten sick. It's not that I won't ever, but that's kind of my protocol. It's like if something's in the air, if I ever wake up when I feel like a little bit like a ugh,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, there's definitely stuff in the air right now. Everybody's sick with something. It's crazy. But everybody's going to be all healthy on Monday and come to the show and have a good time and laugh. We have Bo Johnson as our headliner, and I haven't seen him do comedy. Yeah,
I haven't seen him for a while. I've seen some of his videos pop up on the social.
Right, yeah. Last time I saw him, they had me out to do good comedy at Bad Jimmy's, and it was outside.
Okay. Oh, so it's in that kind of time frame.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Yeah. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to that show. I love that show. I look forward to it a lot. So
that's very interesting. We got an interesting lineup, and so it'll be good. And just knowing that we've got, a decent, healthy amount of pre-sales, there's going to be people in there, and that's going to be great. So
yeah. So come on down and join the fun, because it's going to be a blast.
I changed my dog's sweater today. Now, my dog, I'm not a person that puts sweaters on dogs. Okay.
Okay.
But I have a dog that was shaved. And so she needs a sweater because she's the poor thing. It's like, it's time to go out and go potty. And the 2 boy dogs jump up, and she's like on the couch, like,
yeah, she's not only is she shaved, but she's a Chihuahua and a small dog.
So she's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But the one that they sent us to her with, wasn't smelling very pretty. So I ordered a new one on Amazon. It's a little too big, but she's wearing that now while the other one gets washed. So
very, very nice.
We took her to the vet this week.
Okay.
And they checked her out and everything and said that we should keep giving her the skin medicine because they just want to make sure that she's rid, because she came from Mexico. Apparently, they act like there's some Mexican germs they don't want American dogs to have. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it was just like, especially because she came from Mexico, she needs an extra dose of this medicine.
Okay.
Got new medicine, and then after that, she should be good to go. I mean, and we haven't noticed her itching or anything, so
Good.
I'm sure she's fine.
That's-
She just looks like a little piglet, pink piglet running around because she's got no hair, you know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so there's
Oh, that just warms my heart to hear about your hairless little rash doggy.
I know. Well, she's got stubble, you know, so that's hot too.
Stubble can be hot.
Yeah, but she's cute. She's still cute. But you know, sometimes when you adopt a dog that has some issues, you know, you're not always getting a
And-
perfect little pup.
And I wanted to get this right. You named her Roxy, right? It's short for eczema.
Yeah. Let's call her Zima.
Zima. Isn't that like an alcohol?
I think so.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't drink alcohol.
Oh, of
I
course.
haven't drank in a while.
Wow.
I guess I had a cocktail a couple weeks ago or something, but you know that drinking, it's not all it's cracked up to be when you start getting older.
Well, what I've cut back a lot, and what I noticed or had noticed is like I just wasn't being very productive during the week and getting things done as quickly as I wanted to do. And I would notice, like, I was like, oh, I can have a drink and it's not a big deal. And I don't drink at home alone, so I head across the street and visit with friends and stuff. But it's okay, well, now I'm up till midnight at least, and then I've had a drink, so now the morning I'm not as fresh.
A little sluggish,
And then
yeah.
the day just kind of, then you get into all the tasks of the day, and I wasn't getting that time set aside in the morning to get the writing done or the productivity that I would normally get done. So I really set that aside and thought, you know, I'll just be selective on if I do that once or twice a week, then I'll pick when I do it and have it line up with when it won't interfere. And you know, I'm really fortunate that I can go without it and not miss it. I know that's not the case for everybody, but I could go for months without having a drink and not care. But I do like the social, like I like to see people and hang out, like, and that's more often than not. It's like I don't want to sit here and just wind down the night by myself. I want to go say hi and visit with them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I kind of miss that too. And I don't know. Hopefully I'll be feeling good this break and bust out and get a little crazy or something.
Yeah, we gotta plan a time. Maybe next week. I know we talked about having one of our planning sessions because we've got to do that, and the new year is starting. And
I know.
I got a list going of all the things.
Well, you know, today I stayed home, right? I thought I need one more day before I go back to work.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of computer stuff that I just haven't been feeling well enough to do that I thought, well, I can just sit and be mellow and do so because this is what's been happening. And I know nobody cares, but I'm going to say it anyway, because anyone that tries to plan events and advertise on Facebook, you know, I've been complaining that they've been messing with me.
Yeah.
So like changing my audience to some weird, like something I would never pick.
Yeah.
And then canceling me for like having alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like it's in a brewery, duh. So, you know, I like fought that, and then they did it okay. Well, and now somebody sent me the latest ad. I don't know if I told you this or not, but actually Emmett sent it to me. That it was like, here's what your ad looks like on my phone, and it had the top and the bottom of the poster cut off, and underneath it, it had my phone number.
Oh.
And I was like, that is not good. On many levels.
Yeah.
So I was able to go in and fix it, but I was on my phone. Well, then I realized that the view from a phone. Okay, so first, that was one problem, was that they had put my phone number there. So I was able to get in and change it. It still showing my website instead of the ticket link, but still it's okay. It's better. I don't know what they're doing to me. But I realized that on my website, the view from a PC was fine, but the view from a cell phone was not. So I finally got that fixed.
Okay.
So now if you look at my website on the phone, it should look fine. And if it doesn't, will you let me know?
Yes, I will.
So there's that.
I will check that out as soon as we're done.
Okay.
Because I don't get on my phone during a podcast episode.
Yeah, fuck you. I do.
Well, that's good to have progress. I felt really good yesterday. I was at an event, just a local networking event that's a lot of startups and founders in the area go to, and there's a coffee version once a month and a happy hour once a month. And so yesterday was the ugly sweater thing. But one of the guys there was off the cuff mentioning that he's had trouble. They're trying to figure out why their page isn't showing up on Google Maps. He says, yeah, they keep taking us off of Google Maps. And I said, I had the same problem because I had my business listed as nationwide service area. And as soon as I did that, I stopped showing up in Tacoma. So when people Google a coach in Tacoma or a speaker in Tacoma or near me, I wouldn't show up in the map results. And I saw an immediate, like I looked at, this was a couple months ago, September, I had no leads, no follow, no metrics from my Google leads. And I had been getting them leads before that. And I found that when I changed my service area to Pierce County, now all of a sudden I show up in Pierce County results. And I can still help people nationally, but people who are Googling the right thing that are going to try and find me locally will at least find me that way.
Oh.
So I changed it and now I show up again. And so I was glad to be able to share that, because he's like, we've tried this and that and can't figure out why it's, it looks like it's there, but it's not. I said, yeah, same thing. My profile's right. But it's all these things where you don't know until you stumble upon it. And it wasn't that way because I didn't make any changes on my profile for 2 years, a year and a half at least. And when I moved, I changed the address, and that's when I took the address off and made it virtual, but I was still showing up on the map. And so they changed something they had to have changed something that then made it bump off. But they don't, they don't tell you, or you don't know, or if they did.
I know there's so much to learn. And then when somebody's messing, I mean, like Facebook is messing with me. It's not like I'm making mistakes. It's like I'm very aware. Okay, like I've changed it, I've saved it, and like looking, and then it started.
Oh, hold on, just a second. Yeah, Zuckerberg, it's working. Yeah, keep it up. No, but in good news on the socials, I just crossed over the 30,000 views on YouTube.
Yay!
And I just remember being excited about it getting up over like 300 or 400, and now I'm like, holy crap. And then the problem is then you're like, when's it gonna get to 50? When's it gonna get to 100? But that's been exciting to see, and it's challenged me to keep up on posting, because I had one stupid little YouTube short that got 10,000 views overnight. It wasn't even loaded correctly. It didn't even finish the clip, and people liked it. I mean, they actually hit the like. It wasn't just like accidental views, which makes no sense. I'm just like, how stupid are we as a society that the dumbest things with the least effort are what are getting attention? But it did make me think about how I approach it differently. And so I've since had a couple more clips that have gotten a couple thousand views, not the 10 again, but I think I had one that was like 2,800. And so that's all really piled up, but it's also kept me on putting different types of clips up every day, and even a couple times a day sometimes, and having combination of long and short, really focusing on the shorts a lot. but yeah, it's like you learn it and you get it down and you start to have some progress, and then all of a sudden they change something or something gets whatever. Now you're
That's
back.
Okay. Every time we learn something new, we can hopefully teach it to somebody else.
Yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
Well, this week was the week I finally have been waiting for. I was able to talk to the medical examiner.
Mhm.
Medical examiner. I am not sure if that was their exact title, but it was a medical examiner's office and it was the doctor. So I don't know if that's the coroner or medical. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I don't know the
Yeah.
terminology.
But I've been calling for the toxicology report.
Mhm.
For anyone that doesn't know, for my son that committed suicide. It was kind of the last thing left that I really just wanted to know what his physical state was the day that he died,
Yeah.
And I knew that he'd been doing some drugs, and I knew that he did them what I thought was rarely, but come to find out was not rarely.
Mm.
I learned a lot after he died, so it was kind of like,
Yeah.
I guess I just really wanted to know, was he all hopped up on meth, or
Mhm.
was he like out of meth and that was causing the despair? Like, I just kind of want to know, like, do we have a level? Is there some way we can kind of know,
Yeah.
or was he on something else that I didn't even know about?
Right.
But just called and called and called, and it isn't back yet. It isn't back yet. Well, then it was like, okay, well, now it's back. But only a doctor, only one of the medical examiner, or whatever, can give you the results. I can't give it to you.
Oh gosh.
And then, well, let me go see if I can find someone. Of course, no, never. So then
Mhm.
they finally made an appointment with me. That was the actual appointment. That was yesterday. And, the thing is that, of course, they have to do this when they talk to you. But the first thing is like, well, first, let me say, and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to say, I'm sorry for your loss. And it's like, of course, she's going to say that. Of course, I want her to say that
Right.
as a
Yeah.
human being. But sometimes that's what sets off the bawling. And I'm
Yeah.
like sitting there, like I said, they're like, don't say it, don't say it, don't know. She's
Mhm.
going to say it.
Yeah.
And she said it and I cried. But um, she said that he had THC and methamphetamine, or, well, she said it in some medical sort of way, but methamphetamine or the enzyme or the blood or the blood, I don't know, scientific, but it was meth
The trace of
and
it. Yeah.
and marijuana, and which is the two things I figured he was going to have in him. And I just asked her, like, could you tell? Like, she said, I can't tell you like exactly how much meth he did or how much, exactly there was, or put any, like,
How it could have.
how it would affect him as a person. She said, but I can just tell you that it's enough that it would change his way of thinking and his behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's what I wanted to know. And a lot of that was very what I want. I mean, I didn't want to hear anything, but if I was going to want to hear something, that would be it, because uh, it just made me realize that no matter what I would have said to him those last few months, or what I would have done if I would have taken him to the dentist or sent him a nicer text, I mean, he still would have been a person that was addicted to methamphetamines, and it would not have changed what happened. So that was helpful to me, to
Yeah.
know
That's what
that
I
the
was just
problem was,
wondering.
it's not like I was trying to like take away my guilt, but part of it was kind of like, it made me feel like, okay, stop beating yourself up,
Mhm.
you
Do you
know.
feel like that gives you a different level of closure, or I don't know that closure is even the right word, because it's not like this is something you ever really put
Yeah,
behind
it's
you.
never going to
Not
be.
like close, but just a next step, I guess. I don't know.
No, it didn't. It wasn't as it was a little bit helpful, but it wasn't as helpful as I thought, because that it just starts me on a different path of thought, instead of like it's all my fault, or like, I could have stopped him, I should have done this, I should have done that. It's like I realized I would have had to go way back in history to be able to change that trajectory to from the first time. Whoever gave him some meth gave it to him, you know.
Well, and
It was more, go ahead, what?
well, no, it's hard when we look at like thinking back on history of like if an event anywhere wouldn't have happened, then in our minds we like to tell ourselves the story. Well, if this didn't happen, then we wouldn't be here, but we could have been somewhere way worse, or like we don't know what the other alternatives.
Right. And it's like, and I did mention this to you earlier, but I had never really had this thought before. It had kind of formed, but not fully. And it was it today that I just thought it? It was like, first of all, I just want to say sometimes I think people might wonder why I bare my soul so much. But I think it's because I know there are people out there that need to hear this.
Yeah.
That's all. But I had this thought because I've always, since he died, I've thought, he was born with the cord wrapped around his neck. And I was like, he went out the way he came in with something wrapped around his neck. That's weird. Yeah. But secondly, it was like he was basically born dead, and they had to actually resuscitate him. And his 1 minute APGAR score, if you know about that, is a 1, which is basically dead.
Oh, wow.
And they resuscitated him, and his 3 minute APGAR score was 9, which is practically perfect. So it's but it was just it was so hard. Those few minutes were horrifying. And I just thought, I used to think well, he must be meant for some kind of greatness to have gone through all that just to get into the world. That's how I used to look at it. And of course, that happens to babies all the time, but I choose to believe in things having meaning, But anyway, I'm taking a long time to just say that I thought today, if this was how it was all going to end, why didn't it just end back then? Why didn't it just end on the day he was born? Why wasn't he just born dead? Because why did he have to go through all those years of he had a lot of trouble, A
lot of pain, yeah.
And so I don't know the answer to that. And then I just thought of his little body when he was little and how I used to hug him and how good that felt, how much I loved him. I would have missed out on all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
When you say him being, having the chance to be destined for greatness because of how he was born, it's the really sad thing is, and I was talking in my talk last week about this, so I'm not trying to recycle that, but it's just reminding me of that, is that we never know what great things he's impacted based on how he's affected your life and how he's affected other people. There is a lot of greatness there, and just that he doesn't get credit for wouldn't, it's not fair.
I'm just sorry that he was miserable.
Yeah.
That's mostly what it is. It's just I wish that he could have been happy. So. I heard from one of his friends, funny, from her yesterday. I guess she lives right close by here, but I've never met her.
Okay.
And so I invited her to his birthday. We're going to go have dinner in his honor. And so she was happy about that. But, I do hear from people that knew him and loved him. And I didn't know there was that many people out there that loved him. So that's a nice gift for me to hear that.
And it's sad that he probably didn't even know how many people loved him either.
Yeah. Yeah, poor guy. But it's I was coming here and say the dumbest stuff to him, which is exactly what I did when he was alive. I did try to bug him in a funny way, Well, so it feels good to me to come in here and playfully tease his ashes. I don't know. It's terrible.
Well, You have to have your relationship with grief that's relevant to the relationship with the person and how you would have, it's somebody said something to me about grief recently and how one of the things they were learning is that not only is it different for each of us, but it's different for each of us with every time we experience it because of each person that we're dealing with it with
Right.
and where we're at in that time in our life and what we've experienced before and after that. So we can't say, oh, because I lost a parent, 5 years ago, I'm going to know how to deal with losing a parent now, or because I lost a friend here or there, or whatever. Like,
Right. Right.
different.
Right. It is different. You know what I noticed, and I did notice this like right when he died. This is going to sound weird, but when he died, and I had the first couple days where I was just sobbing and sobbing, it felt very similar to me to when I split up with his dad.
Mm,
That was a really hard time in my life because I
yeah.
loved his dad a lot, and he treated me really poorly, and it was just heartbreaking and devastating, and it felt a lot the same.
Mhm.
Not like saying it was as bad, it was way worse, but there was a big similarity in just having my world shattered, I guess, is really what the feeling was.
Well, and the one thing that really could be the same in many respects is that could have been the biggest grief you had felt yet in your life.
Right.
And so, from that perspective, sure, you wouldn't ever wish to have anything worse or this happen, but if it's the worst thing you've ever experienced, you're going to have kind of that same reaction.
Yeah.
And then if you have
It
something
was the
even,
next worst, or
yeah,
the
it then
next,
becomes, yeah, it
right.
becomes less later. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things when I talk to, I when I talk to teenagers, one of the things I like to remind is like, have you ever had a parent tell you, you go through a breakup and they're like, oh, get over it. It's a high school thing, or it's not a big deal. And you'll love again, you have to move on with your life. And they're not wrong. It is, but it's
That's
also
not
the
the
worst
right
thing
thing
to
to
say
say.
because this is still the biggest thing they've ever experienced. This is still all the hope that they had. And, you know, it's not the right thing to say, and it's not a compassionate response. And so you have to kind of realize that whatever people are going through is potentially the biggest thing they've
All
ever.
of a sudden, I just heard Christmas music.
Mm,
And no, I'm the only one home. That's why I'm looking so puzzled.
okay. Wow.
Maybe it's in Andrew's room or something.
Yeah.
But why was I not hearing it before? That's
There's
freaking
some
weird.
Christmas carolers at your door.
Please,
Dogs
God,
aren't being crazy.
no. Do you remember that in the days when like you'd open the door and there's these strangers standing on your porch singing? It's like nobody likes that.
Uh,
Does anybody like that? I don't like
it's
that.
awkward. I don't like. I think it's a nice idea, but what are you supposed to do? Because you just stand there and stare at them while they
I,
finish the song. You're just like, oh. And it's not like from afar. Like if they would just walk up and down the street caroling and
right.
not knock on the door, you could like, oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
but when they all gather, let me just say that I have gone Christmas caroling before with like a church group, and
Yeah, I've done
it's
that like
equally
too. Yeah,
embarrassing no matter which side of the door you're on. So
yeah.
please, nobody come carol at my house. Well, I guess if I know you,
Right.
might be different, but no, that was
I am
weird.
so gonna show up on your door. It's like, okay, so who's free on Christmas Eve to go Christmas caroling at Cheri's house? Uh,
That's funny. Anyway, I wish I had something in here to wipe my nose with.
have some cocoa
I've been
ready.
watching a lot of TV, I gotta say,
Yeah.
because I've been home. So
Anything
right
good?
now I'm watching I'm watching the thing about Miss Cleo on HBO. You probably don't know who Miss Cleo is because you probably don't know. Yeah.
No.
She was a psychic, the Psychic Network or something on back in the 90s on infomercials. Late at
Okay.
night, Miss Cleo, and she was a woman with like a fake Jamaican accent.
Okay.
And it sucks, so don't waste your time. It's boring.
Okay.
I've been watching White Lotus. think that's also HBO. No, maybe
That's
not.
like the rage right now. I
I
saw a
haven't
clip
seen a
on
lot of
TikTok.
stuff about it, but here's the deal. I watch a show and then like a year later they do another season.
Mhm.
I don't remember the first season, so I
Yeah.
have to rewatch it so I had to rewatch the first season and I'm watching it going, good thing I decided to rewatch this because I don't remember most of this.
So you like the show?
I liked the first season.
Okay.
So now I'm on the next season and half the time they're talking in Italian and that pisses me off.
Well, that would,
Because
yeah.
like if I'm laying in bed trying to watch it, it's like, okay, I gotta put my glasses back on.
Yeah. Any
You
other
know?
language would be okay, but Italian, no.
Well, I don't like that. I mean, if
Have
I'm
you
gonna
been
watch, I'll watch something with subtitles.
have you been watching the Harry and Meghan wine fest?
No,
Okay.
I got better things to do with my time. I guess I
I
did watch a few minutes of it.
I haven't watched it, but I've seen them getting torn apart on some of the socials.
Well, and then I just watch it because it's like I remember when Prince William was the cute one, and then he ended up turning out to be the ugly one. Like, dude,
Funny how that
was
happened.
kind of-
I believe everybody has a cute time in their life, and sometimes it's like when you were a toddler, and you know, sometimes you're just like, oh God, please let it be the longer part of my life than
Yeah.
Remember when they were a cute 12-year-old?
But then you know what? When you get old,
Mhm.
you can't tell the difference between someone that used to be attractive versus someone that used to be ugly.
Oh yeah, it all just kind of settles out.
We all just even out in the end. So
Yeah, yeah,
marry for personality
yes.
and penis size.
Personality, penis, and profits. The 3 Ps of
Now,
that's
I
relationship.
did not follow my own advice, and I won't tell you which one I'm talking about. You've met my husband, so I think you know.
I've heard enough to know. Anyway, so I did a guest spot this last week.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you did.
No, thanks for asking.
Uh-huh.
At the comedy club, at Tacoma Comedy Club, and it was for my friend Nithal had gone to
Your
had
friend
taken-
what?
Nithal. It's
Okay.
an Indian name, but she had taken the comedy class at the Tacoma Comedy Club, from Corey,
Uh-huh.
which you took that. I took it about 5 years ago. I think you took it before I did, because that was before we really were hanging out. But I had told him I was going to be there, and he said that I could do a guest spot, and I didn't really advertise it very much because it feels wrong when you're going to someone else's celebration of their club. Like I didn't feel like it's right to make it about me. I told a couple people that had asked when I was going to be up that I was going to be there, so a couple of friends came, so that was cool. But I didn't like push it out on social media and stuff. But it was such a good show. I mean, that is such a great club, and when it's a graduation show, the audience is there just to be supportive of their friends who are, for the most part, getting on stage for the first time.
Right.
And I was surprised how strong his class was, because it's like an open mic, right? Like this is people doing it for the first time, and you expect it to be a lot of like, okay, good job, or trying to find places to laugh just to give them support. But I didn't have to do that at all. It was very much, there were a lot of really good punches, a lot of very confident people on stage. I think there were 11 or 13 people in the class, and then I did a
What
guest.
they do, 5 minutes or less?
4 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
They get the light at 4, and then they start flashing it at 5 was their thing. And with that, they don't block you if you go over on those things. But most of them were 4 to 5 minutes. I don't think anybody really went over. But there were some great sets. It was great to see Corey perform, and Andrew closed out the show, so it's good to see Andrew Rivers again. I was really happy with my set. I was in the middle, and I've been working on a whole bunch of new stuff, so I've done it at a couple smaller shows lately, and so to do that in the bigger crowd where I got some bigger pops was really fun.
Do you do Betty and Bob?
I did do Betty and Bob, and it turns out it was Bob Barker's birthday this week. So
Oh yeah.
that's one of the ones I reposted. I posted the clip from the Tacoma Comedy Club because the first time I told the joke, I had a decent clip.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then that was one that got 2,000 views, you know, on the YouTube short, which it's funny how it works because the views ramp up right away and then just stop. So whatever I get like that first run kind of is, and I'm sure over time they'll like a little here and a little there, but it is funny
Well,
how
then
much.
once they're up in the thousands, it doesn't show you like,
Yeah, it doesn't show you got 10 more views.
right. It's not
Yeah.
until it changes to a big number. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that's fun. If you click on the video metrics, I think you can see there's a way to see it, the total number, but you have to like, you know, you'd be spending a lot of time just chasing things to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know, in the last 28 days, I've gotten 24,000 views on my channel. So that of that 30,000 that I've ever gotten, the bulk of it by far has been this month. But not only that, a month ago I had 83 subscribers. Now I have 124.
Oh, good. I was going to ask if it's increased your subscribers.
Yeah, and every time every day or two, I'm getting a couple more subscribers, and it'll show you on the video, like on the metrics, if they subscribed from watching that video. So, and every once in a while I'll post a video and I'll notice that someone drops off the next time I post a video. I might be reading into it, but a lot of times I'm thinking, oh, I posted a comedy clip and then they saw a podcast video and thought, oh, I don't want to see that. So then they're like, why am I seeing this? So because I do a variety of content, I think there is that risk of people going, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, which is fine.
Right.
I'm glad that I'm far enough over the 100 mark, getting to the point where when one person unsubscribes, I'm not going, oh, there goes 10% of my audience, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that was just a really good show. It was fun. You know, it's been fun to get back out there and really challenge the material that I'm doing. I have some solid jokes that I still will bring out in the right time. But like with this one, I did one joke that I've had the last couple of years that fit in with another lineup of what I was doing, and just kind of sandwiched. I ended on that joke, but everything else I did in my set was new, relatively new, and stuff I've been working through. So it's fun to develop. You know, I think it was the first season of Mrs. Maisel, maybe the second season. There's an episode in there where they show her saying a bit over and over again and tweaking one word here and one word there. It's one of my favorite episodes because it really shows what you have to do as a comedian. It shows her like bombing and getting the laugh here and then changing it, or you know, whatever. And it's just rapid fire, and that's really what it's like. So that's been fun. I kind of moved on from that show, but I did appreciate that particular.
Yeah. I know. I was planning on being at some open mics this week, and then I wasn't able to do it. So
yeah.
I decided though that the one nice thing about the show that I'm on tomorrow night is that it's comedy and storytelling.
Okay, nice.
So if my jokes don't get any laughs, then they're storytelling.
Yeah, that's fair.
Isn't that what people at the open mics who don't get laughs just say, that they're more of a storyteller or whatever?
Usually they say they killed it.
Yeah.
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 It's a good time. I'm even considering signing up for some open mics next month. Although I have a lot on the calendar. The next January, February, March actually have a lot going on for me. So I'm a little leery to commit to dates that are not booked gigs. You know, I have a lot of things pending, and I have a lot of things in the works, and I have a lot of things already on the calendar. So I think the open mics for me might be more of a spur of the moment. If I'm free tonight, I'll go. And
right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
I remember I got to tell you something.
Okay. I look forward to that. So next week, are we on for the 22nd? Little holiday hoobie.
Yeah, let's do a holiday hoo-ha.
I'll wear my ugly sweater
All right, I'll wear mine.
and maybe bake some cookies.
We won't be able to smell them though,
Damn.
unfortunately.
That's too much.
Okay, all right. It's a date. See you next week. Bye,
See ya.
everybody.
See ya.